Ben Johnson and Aditi had a conversation coming out of halftime. This is how it went during the game.
Your offense has struggled to take advantage of those takeaways.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you tell them to get things going?
That it wasn't our brand of football. We're capable of a lot more, and so we're hitting the reset button here at halftime, and we're going to come back and establish our identity here in the second half.
So you need to change what you're doing.
I don't know. You think so? We're going to be just fine.
And they end up being just fine.
Yeah.
That was his message. Aditi, I think she said that it was a question or a reiteration of what he was saying, even though it might have sounded like, so you need to change what you're doing. And he said he didn't really, this was his response to it whenever he kicked off his press conference.
And, if you care to address this, I know there's been some buzz about your halftime exchange. Can you relay how you interpreted that conversation?
Yeah, in the moment, I honestly, I didn't think too much of it. I'm kind of in game mode. But then when I look back at it, I am a little bit disappointed with what that looks like. I didn't hear very well, and that's not an excuse. But when I thought I heard that not a question, but that I needed to make some changes, I didn't take that very well. So I'll do a better job with those going forward.
Yeah, I don't like the way it was viewed. And Aditi's been around ball a long time. I assume she was not the one that was offended by the interaction. But those are tough moments to have an interview. That is especially if your team is not playing well and you want them to play well. And if it's loud and you hear somebody that has not been at your practices or in your team meetings or know anything about your team, not saying football, but just your team in general. So you need to it's like, yeah, can we do this after the game? That is almost immediately the thought. Obviously, guys that have been around a long time are much more seasoned vets in those moments. But I appreciate Ben Johnson acknowledging it, but I didn't think he had to. AJ, I didn't think he had to.
I don't think he had to. I mean, it's coming out of halftime or going into halftime, doing an interview as a coach, I think is almost impossible. It's so, you have so many things on your mind, I can imagine. Now, college coaches doing these interviews, the smart ones know in the back of their head, hey, I'm recruiting. Anytime I'm on camera, I'm recruiting these high school kids, these young kids watching me, or these kids I want from the transfer portal to come over. So that gives them another reason where they can almost, fake it easier, I guess, and make themselves, I don't know, just make it a little bit better.
Anytime on camera, we're selling. And for Ben Johnson, he's on camera. He's trying to answer questions about his team. Let's go to a guy who had to do a lot of these. We feel like there's a couple of timings of interviews that, what are we doing? Right before the game, they'll get players now as after introductions, as game is starting 30 seconds away. They're talking to players now. That's a part of the new TV deal, I guess. And then the halftime conversations with coaches. I feel like we really never really get anything good out of that. How did you handle those? And what was your mindset as you're doing those?
Let's get this shit over with quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Exactly our point.
Yeah.
So much.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell you. I mean, thank God Laura Oakman, I was just ripping some of the fish out. I was probably red as a hornet and came over. Are you okay? You okay? She was worried about me. I said, no, I'm good, honey. What do you want to know?
Yeah, you got to be able to compartmentalize, I guess. But on that note, you got a lot going on. A lot of jobs. I mean, there is a lot of things on the line for every one of these games. In the middle of the action, just stopping and dropping out and going into the real world. Because there you're talking to the fans. You're talking to the fans. You're talking to everybody. You're not talking to your team.
Yeah.
And you're in the middle of a game, which is your team's moment. It's interesting. I know the NFL wants more access, but I think some of these I think the people should be able to opt in or out of them. I think Ben Johnson should be like, nah, I don't really want to do this right now.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm a fan, just being a fan now, it's nothing, I don't want to hear from the coach. I don't want to hear from a player right before kickoff. As a fan, it's not even that engaging or entertaining. I understand we want the access. And then to BA's point, all that adrenaline. You are in the middle of out, and that game was a dogfight. One point game came down to the last play, last kick. So too much adrenaline. I can understand in that interaction how it kind of got lost in Trent. You're in the middle of a stadium, loud stadium, and she was trying to say, okay, so you need to change something up. He took it a different way. And then I also understand why he addressed it too, because as a head coach, as a player, first of all, you're representing the organization. We know how that organization specifically is very so you're that, and then you don't want to ever become a distraction. So you just own it, you say whatever you say to it, and then you move on from it. So now nobody's asking about that today or anything else of that. So I understand kind of the weight he has to bear as a head coach. But I think he handled it well. I think to your point, Aditi should be fine. She's been in the fire
She's
for a
balled.
long time.
She
Yeah,
knows
on
ball
the
deep.
field,
Yep.
yeah, it's different being down there. So I get it, but I hate the mid-game interviews. Like,
and also, now that we know Ben Johnson a little bit, think about what he just got done doing and saying in that locker room.
Yeah.
I told him we're hitting a reset. He didn't just say, boys, we're going to hit a reset.
Yeah.
That is, that was a loud and very fucking intense reset.
Yeah. Fucking slamming his head against the locker room.
I assumed there was a reset button that was imagined in the sky.
Yeah.
And that thing was not tapped. No, that thing was fucking, we are.
Yeah, 100 fucking times.
And then he comes out and Aditi, you need to make some fucking change. Oh, okay. Everybody has answers, huh? Okay. We'll be just that whole series of events, just thinking from Ben Johnson's angle, just like, is this real?
What'd you say to me?
Is this a real? We'll be just fine. Thanks. Happy I did the fucking interview. Roll it back. It's like Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He might be hitting here.
Yeah.
His
Absolutely.
team might be kind of funny. Now, this would be considered early, I think, in a culture shift. By week 5, kind of everybody bought in. Maybe even by week 4, it was already bought in. That's when, like, his speech in the locker room afterwards, very intense, but everybody, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Everybody, yes, sir. It's like, holy shit, this guy might have flipped this group into being what he envisions them to be, and obviously they can only get better. That's like a exact conversation point that we're having right now. Feels like Ben Johnson's got Chicago buying in to what he's been pitching, and everybody says he's a hard-ass, accountability-driven guy. It's like, kudos to Caleb for buying in. Kudos to the defense for buying. Congrats to everybody seemingly buying in and it working out for them. And maybe this is a whole new era. The Ben Johnson era is one that brings success to Chicago, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you bring in a coach that's drastically different from the guy you had before, there's going to be like a little bit of an adjustment period for the team. And Ben Johnson, like, I think players know, and it's like a corny thing, but if you think, like, even if your coach yells all day, every day, and he's crazy and he does this, if you feel like he cares about you and he like truly cares about you as a human, like, and each player feels that way, I think you'll do anything for him, especially if you can win some games and you see like, oh, okay, he's not just yelling at me to yell at me. He's put me in good position to make plays. And when I step out of that, that's when I make mistakes. Whatever. If I do what he's kind of guiding me through, I'll be all right. And I think now they have some hope early, and they did not have any hope. They didn't have hope, 3 weeks ago? People were pretty upset.
I didn't have hope that I thought the Caleb experience was going to be a bad one. I thought it was going to end with him going to a couple different teams and then maybe finding his shit down the road, which I was bummed out about. I want to let you know, because generational conversation was happening whenever he was coming out of USC, and I thought, man, this ain't going to work. This is what they talked about last year with his recollection of the defense and what they were trying to put on, and then what Ben Johnson was trying to put on his plate, and then how it was looking and the conversations that were taking place. And it's like, well, does Ben have the power in that room, or does Caleb have the power in that room? We'll see what the future looks like. Now it's like, wait a minute, Ben Johnson is the right guy to get the most out of Caleb, and maybe that was this personality type that Caleb needed, or at least at this point in his life needs to become the best quarterback he can be. Because if Caleb can get that ball right there is insane. That is an insane throw right there.
Yeah.
That's a second window down in between linebacker, corner, and safety on a line. It's like, that's a filthy throw. That is just a disgusting ball. Do we think Caleb is starting to come into maybe realizing, understanding what offense he's running, what the defense is doing? And do we think there's still potential massive upside for Caleb with Ben Johnson?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, the guy is so talented. And I go back to that first one. He completed 10 in a row. He's taking his check downs. He's doing everything. Take the Superman cape off. Just leave it on the bench. Just go play quarterback. All right, we don't need no Supermans out here. And I think Ben's going to do that for him. And he's done it. Look at Jared Goff's career. Just took off with Ben. I think Caleb can do that same thing.
I hope so.
And they got players around him too now.
I gave up hope, D, but I gave up hope on Caleb.
I know you did. I mean,
the GQ shit, all the shit. I'm like, man, he's falling in love with everything that isn't football right now.
Investment funds,
yeah,
the whole thing.
And that matters. It does matter. Personality, leadership, in the locker room, all that shit definitely matters. When he has the talent, I said it earlier, talking about Sean McVay, like, in the National Football League, you have to kind of lead with intellect. Like, we got to know you're putting me in a better position, especially if you're a guy like Caleb Williams, who was 5-star recruit, #1 pick, all these things. has had all the answers up until this point. You got to be able to swallow your ego and say, okay, this guy's going to put me in a good position. You got to have that energy. You got to be able to communicate. It looks like Ben Johnson kind of has all those things. And then BA would know this better than I would. But the staff he has around him, too, on the defensive side of the ball, you got a former head coach, Dennis Allen. You got Al Harris on that staff, who's a great player in the league for a long time. A lot of people thought he should have probably been the defensive coordinator in Dallas before he left there to come to Chicago. And they've kind of been makeshifting that secondary and putting pieces that they didn't expect coming into the season to play big roles. So I think they're doing a good job. And the intensity factor that we get from Ben Johnson, I didn't know this when he was a coordinator at Detroit. You never see the coordinator speak and talk as much. Now you got to set that tone not only in the locker room, but when you're doing things outside the locker room, press conferences, meetings, all these different things. And it looks like the boys are buying in.
Yeah, this was a cool moment, I assume, for Ben, but also if you're a Bears fan, I think when you watch this video, the boys are all bought in. Like, this is a moment where you can find out if the boys are bought in or not. The yes, sir responses out of everything is, go back to the beginning. Can we run this? With sound?
Let me tell you something, man. That's a character win right there.
Yes, sir.
That is a character win. And it took all 60 minutes.
Yes, sir.
And you know what it took? It took belief.
Yes, sir.
It took belief
Yes,
that
sir.
we were going to find a way.
Yes, sir.
Because at the end of the day, gentlemen, that was two teams that were desperate.
Yes, sir.
Both teams. I give them a lot of credit, man. But you know who wanted just a little bit more?
Yes,
Chicago Bears. Chicago. That's Chicago. I got a few game balls. I just see the 2 interceptions, all right? But you talk about big time tackle when we needed it. Let me get a little Kevin Byard
Hey, now rims up. Listen, Coach said it the other week. The book on this team is that if we get the game close, we was gonna lose. And what the we do today? That's the culture with, fellas. We talk about changing the culture. That's how you do it, fellas. Let's go into this bye week, man. Let's get this going, baby.
Man, we wouldn't have won that game had we not gone 4 for 4 on field goal.
Love this.
Give me that
Little Cairo.
Hey man, like I said earlier in the year, I'm inspired by all you guys. You guys are the best teammates. O-line, come through every. It doesn't. It's not just me.
Yeah.
Snap, hold, HC.
Yes,
all of us.
That's right. Gas him up. Gas him up. Walk him off.
All right, man. And game on the line when we needed it most. Come on. When we needed it most. We needed someone to step up to the plate. Josh Blackwell!
Come on.
That's a great culture.
Yeah.
That feels like they're bought in, AJ. Look out, NFC North. There's a new powerhouse coming from the Midway Monster.
Yeah, I certainly don't love seeing that one bit. I don't. I mean, especially like because in years past, like the Bears losing that way week 1 to the Vikings, like especially with the new coach and Caleb and everything, like you could see that thing just nosediving. Like, okay, that's all they needed to kind of tip things over. And you look at where the Packers were at week 1 and where they're at now, like. And even as like a Packers fan, just watching, you said a lot of things about Ben Johnson or whatever. Like their offense does look different. Like there'll be like 5 to 6 times a game, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, that was a great play. That was a great play. Like that does happen pretty often. So yeah, as a Packers fan, don't love seeing that, but here we go.
What does Ben Johnson do as a play caller or play designer that has made him be the belle of the ball for the last 3 off seasons in the coaching carousel?
He's had a hell of a group around him, and my man Antoine Randall, he handles a lot of trick play stuff. He actually put one in that he ran back in when he was a Steeler. We tossed him the ball. He ran the shuffle pass back.
Oh, yeah. With the Lions.
Last year.
Yeah, the Lions just ran
and he listens. He listens to his guys. He puts input, which when you listen and they see their plays again called, guys work harder. Coach, I got more shit for you. And he listens. He puts it all together extremely well.
What type of, is there a style in which he calls plays that makes him very good? Like some people are chess players, I guess, whenever they're calling plays. Is that Ben Johnson?
He starts with the running game. He's got a great play action game. He's got a great knack for when to throw the gadget. All right, when do you throw the flea flicker? When do you throw the reverse? When do you do the gimmick shit? especially in Detroit. You know, when they start throwing the linemen and throwing in the middle of a game, throwing a lateral on a short end, he pitches it back to the other. That takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of creativity too.
How about is it a feel thing? Whenever
it's a total feel thing. Yeah, I think some guys have it, some don't. Some just are computers. Computer says I do this. All right, the guys that Andy Reid, the people that have been doing it for a long time, they have a feel for the game.
Ben Johnson's fun to watch. That Bears team might be problematic.